Hello my community family, and welcome to Parton's Heritage Homestead. My name is Carrie and we are a Mediterranean homestead. If you are new to this channel, we hope you stay a while, subscribe and like this channel, and if you have already been here, welcome home. Today y'all, we're going to be talking about raised beds. I have an offer that we are going to work on, and I'm going to be talking to you about, since we started these raised beds in the beginning of the year, many of you have been with me already on these beds. So I am going to give my honest opinion about these, and I will let you know what I think after growing pretty much this whole summer. Our summer here is about done, but we still have more growing to do. So I want to give you my up-to-date opinion about growing, and we're going to go from there. Okay y'all, so I am going to give you a tour of the raised beds that we've had since the beginning of this growing season, which was in, I believe, spring. We got these beds over the winter, and so I started spring planting. Now mind you, right now we are in we're in a drought, y'all. It has been hot. Our heat indexes with the humidity has been anywhere from 115 to 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So that makes it really hard on this garden. I have a lot of birds wanting to eat our tomatoes. They're all seeking for some kind of water. I'll even put water in the bird baths, and by the end of the day it's so hot that it dries it out. Now today, by the grace of God, we have got some, well, it's a hot breeze, but we got some breeze, so this is amazing. Now, on to what we have been doing new to those raised beds that you all have seen. Y'all, I couldn't be more happier with this. I am super excited because this means that next year I can grow twice the tomatoes, more spaced out, and twice the bell peppers if I choose so, or anything else for that matter. But I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to give you the update of what we have been doing, because I am so excited over this. Okay, as you've been known, we have started these trellises in the beginning with our tomatoes. Now, I had learned about these trellises from Mark. He is, oh Lord have mercy, I'm trying to remember his channel. Hang on and I will get it, because I don't want to mess this one up. So forgive my, I think the brain's been or the sun's been frying my brain too, but from the gentleman from Next Level Gardening, this was the best trellis I had ever seen in my entire life. Let me try to shift you a little bit so you can see a better aspect how this goes all the way across this bed. And then we purchased these hooks, which are really, they're in eyes. We have eyes twisted up in these boards, and then these hooks right here is just nylon string. And then all we do is just hook them through those eyelets, and that's it. We can run them down, and I'll show you some of the plants that we have run down. This turned out so amazing. We decided to go with 4 of them. And honestly, if I could, I would probably do it to every single bed we have. So I do need to prop up. Just a minute, I've got to go prop up, oh my Lord, another plant, which is my Jamaican sorrel. Sorry y'all, We had a slight rain come through. It's not even enough to call it rain because honestly it didn't even water the soil. So, but it was enough to cause my Jamaican sorrel evidently to fall over. So anyways, what do I think about these beds? Honestly, I have had the best crops that I have had in 5 years. So much of the fact is that our 20 footers and probably this 10 footer is going to be put down to rest for this winter, and they will not be used next summer until they are upgraded, replenished, and raised higher. The difference that we have between these beds and those is absolutely amazing. Now, although our tomato crops have not been at the best, we have had some bottom end rot. I know how to do that. Just fix that with some calcium nitrate. But it's more than that. With our drought, we also have the issue of, I do water, but at this point it's hard to water consistently when it dries out so fast. And then the aspect is we got birds coming in and literally eating our tomatoes. I've caught cardinals in my garden. So, and then we've had some bugs on top of that. So this has been rough, but all in all, I've been able to put out over a dozen tomatoes, whole tomatoes, on my shelf. I have made several dishes of marinara. We're using the fresh tomatoes and a tomato bisque using these tomatoes. So I cannot complain because personally, after 5 years, that's the most amount of tomatoes we have ever seen. Most of the time, we didn't see any. As far as the bell peppers, right now it's too hot for the season. They are just now starting to put flowers on. But I'm excited because they look amazing. And for the first time in 5 years of trying to grow eggplants, although the eggplants are not at their best and ultimate due to our weather, we still have eggplant. I cannot complain. I've had the best green bean crops I have ever seen, to where we have multiple jars of green beans on our shelf of varieties of cut and French cut. I couldn't ask for more. This is coming from our own garden, and I did not have to go to other resources for the first time in 5 years. I will give you an update right now as to what these gardens look like. Now, mind you, we are in a drought. We are doing the best we can, trying to provide for our plants. But let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. Okay, y'all, so these are the trellises. We now have 4 of these trellises. And honestly, for us, it really costs under $60 to make these. I cannot get anything better than this, and they are pressure treated. So now, this is our eggplant. I'm gonna see if I can get some of these pictures in here for you to show you, y'all. Look, I have eggplant. I have never, this is the first time in 5 years, y'all, I have actually got eggplant. To even say that we have eggplant. This is amazing. These are those same bush beans that I have harvested all summer long, and I'm still harvesting. They're still putting on flowers. These were the provider green beans from M.I. Gardener, and I have so much green beans, y'all. I actually went and succession planted some more because we can absolutely use all the green beans. We don't have to buy any other resources. Back there, when I put up that fence line in the beginning of summer, I showed you all, or spring, that we were growing our cucumbers. We have some pretty good cucumbers, and that trellis system was amazing. It works beautifully. Let me bring you over there. So our cucumbers are easily hanging from that fence line beautifully. So, and again, it's been tough, but y'all, I've got cucumbers. I cannot complain. They make the best tzatziki sauce I have ever tasted. Now, this bed here has not done too well, and it's due to our weather. This is our fennel. I'm not giving up. I just know that I just plant in different spaces, in different areas, and different things. But I know It's this weather, and some things just don't do well in this kind of heat. Now these are the pepper plants, and again, we have them trellised up here where they're being held straight up. And these peppers, it's been very hot, and most of y'all know peppers don't deal with heat very well. But I have noticed now we are starting to get some flowers, which is a good sign that maybe we can get, let me see if I can find those flowers for you. Yeah, here we go, right here. Right there. So that might be a sign that maybe we're going to start getting cooled off. Now we do have, I showed you this gardening hose system. This is where it's like a, I don't know, a slow release type water system. And then here, these monster San Marzanos. Y'all, this is crazy. But they are slowing down. The flowering is slowed down, but I've been told if we can keep them alive through this heat, they will reflower, because these are indeterminates. Matter of fact, I see some flowers at the tops, but I may have to put some more calcium nitrate. Then again, it might be due to our drought, so maybe they're just not getting enough water at this point. We are going to be putting down some pine shavings, which we're to keep them because we can't find straw. Pine shavings, I will get to that in a moment for that as well. But this is what we've done. This is the 4 new trellises we added to our beds. So let me go ahead and get you set up for showing you the difference and why we decided to keep with the raised beds, or at least I am. Okay, so this is that 20-footer, and honestly they're only 8 inches high. There is not enough depth. I struggled for many years for this, plus with our soil. And these are those tomatoes. They're not doing that great. And I know the heat has a lot to do with this too. But the depth of the soil is not, it has never been enough for these poor plants. And I have made that point several times. To one day I just took the initiative to do it upon myself and go and do this. Y'all, to me this is a no-brainer. This is the best garden I have ever had in my entire life. I am going to stick with this. These beds are going to be replenished, rebuilt, and redone before I ever plant in this again. Now, it might be great for herbs. I will say that. This is that basil. Here is oregano and thyme. So if I do anything with these beds, if I keep it the same, I will only grow, which this will be an option. This is an amazing space for a ton of herbs. So maybe that is my option, is just making this a complete herb bed. Even lettuce struggled in here, but the herbs do amazing. These are gone. There's nothing I can do to save them now. So this is a fantastic bed for herbs. So I may even just do that and then do our major growing right here in these raised beds. And with that, I have another raised bed I want to introduce you all to, that I had a company reach out to me and ask me, because they seen these and seen what we were doing with these in this small homestead backyard. Let me set you up and I will talk to you about it. Okay, y'all, so I will tell you that no matter what product I ever offer on my channel, I will tell you, you are going to get the ultimate truth. Because I'm not one, I don't get paid for doing this. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't. But I will tell you this, I will tell you the truth, because I take my gardening very seriously, and I have struggled, just like many of you, I have struggled for years. I live in an area that is extremely hot and high humidity heat, for one. Number two, I live with a ground that is the awfulest ground ever in the deep south, between sand, clay, turns to cement, and you can't grow nothing on our soil. So I take my raised beds very seriously, and when I can get my own produce, then this is a plus. Now I also know that I have to pick my raised beds wisely due to the fact is they have to last me, because this is money invested. Not just mine, but this is your money invested as well. Now the one company that reached out to me is called Vegiga, and their raised beds are slightly cheaper than what I bought, but mine were by Amazon by sets. Now I will tell you the difference between my raised beds and Vegiga's is mine are not coated. Vegiga's are coated. So we are going to try this. We have two small raised beds, basically pot size, and I have a tea tree that needs a home, and I might do this for some of my what do you call this, anise hyssop. I need a place for anise hyssop because this grow pot that I have, this fabric thing, is not cutting it, and I keep losing anise hyssop. I love anise hyssop in my tea. So I am going to set up, I'm going to show you how these come together. I'm going to fill this raised bed, and we are going to plant anise hyssop in one of them and the tea tree that I'm trying to save in the other one. So we're going to do this. This is the next part of this video, and we also have some baking. We have a lot of baking to do, y'all. I am actually baking for the farmer's market this week, but we need buns, we need sub buns, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, we need bread, and I am craving cinnamon rolls, but everything is fresh milled. I also had to get ready to make some more of my, oh, and I don't know if I've done this with y'all or not, but yes I did, the chickpea frittata. Oh my gosh, I need some more of that in my life. So we do have a lot of cooking, and we have a lot of Mediterranean cooking. Right now I just been getting caught up because this is the time of year to get ready for winter, and that means I have been canning and freezing and trying to keep our crops alive. So we do have some more squash coming up. That was fantastic, which reminds me, the lesson that I learned this year. We have a long growing season. Basically, our first frost doesn't happen till about midweek of November. Sometimes it can happen in October. But we have at least 245 days of growing. We had started our squash later, and I did an example. Now I have some little squash over here growing, but they're starting to put on flowers. So that means we're going to get squash, and this is almost the middle of July. Now I waited until June to plant those, and the reason I did that is because we have boar vine season from April to May, and every year it has destroyed all of my squash. As a matter of fact, the bed that we did get our squash in, we got very little because the boar vines attacked every single vine. They went in the trash burn barrel because you can't even put that in my compost. It'll destroy everything. So we eliminated that, and we're waiting now until June. And so far, I have the healthiest squash I have had. So it's okay. If you have a long growing season like us, and I'm sorry y'all, I know I'm sweating. If you have a long growing season like us, it is okay to plant later. Boar vines are one that I have tried everything, y'all. I have tried putting little paper cups around them. I have tried the aluminum foil. I have tried BT. I have tried everything. I even tried row covers to the point that actually my squash ended up with fungus on it. So that didn't work. And so I am just going to plant my squash from now on in my beds, whether by seed, and that's what these were, by seed, and I'm going to show them to you. I got to weed them out too, but these were done by seed in June, and let me show you what they look like. Okay, so here is that squash that I planted in June, and we're getting there. I mean, they're still babies, and there's a lot of growing. Now there's a lot, you'll see that this looks like a lot of weeds, but this isn't technically a weed, y'all. This is a weed that's edible. so full of nutrients and vitamins, and I haven't pulled this because it's called purslane. This is used in Mediterranean salads. It has a taste that's similar to watercress or spinach. So I have actually not I've opted not to pull these because I want to try them this year. They say they're full of nutrients and vitamins, and this is actually, for me, it's wild. So it came with the soil that this was in, and I get this every single year. I have some more squash right here, and it's a little bitty one, so hopefully we can get some more squash. Now I'm going to try and angle this camera to show you what these are is pole beans, and I'm going to show you what they look like on this trellis. So this is now both sides of this, what I call my wagon wheel 10-foot raised bed. This is what the pole beans did, and I am going to opt to do this. I'm going to raise this raised bed for sure, replenish its soil, because this system works great for pole beans, and I can see spaghetti squash being grown on this. So I am definitely going to be replenishing this bed right here. If I let the two 20-footers go to nothing but herb, I'm good, because I will have this raised bed. I will have 7 of those raised beds, plenty enough gardening for 2 people, along with these trellises to make my life easier. Y'all, I couldn't ask for a better system. So I am going to say raised beds saved my gardening. I do not regret this at all. So I had planted within these thing of peppers, which I didn't explain, there were 3 special peppers called aapo pepper. It's the pepper that I use plenty of in my Mediterranean food. But I want to show y'all. This is one of them. This one is the second one. And this one is my third. We have 3 aapo peppers, and y'all, look, I got my first flower. So I cannot wait to see how these produce. I'm actually ecstatic to find that once I strung them up, they all got this water system that we have to make them moist. We try to soak these beds as much as we possibly can in the evening. And I got aapo peppers, y'all. We have these pepper plants that made it. And it's been a struggle, but I helped keep them going. So now let's see if we can get some aapo peppers. If we can, this is going to be a game changer. I won't ever have to buy aapo pepper. Okay, y'all, so I had to come in because it is hot. So yeah, there might be a breeze, but it's still a hot breeze. At this point, I don't know, I know many of you love your summers, but for me, I'm good in the spring, and when it comes to July and August, I'm ready for fall. I love fall. I don't like it too cold, but I love fall. I'll be right back. Sorry, y'all, that was hubby's pup. He's got an old English bulldog who's a diva. Anyways, so that is my opinion about these raised beds. I actually am going to call myself very, very blessed for the first time. Y'all, I mean, seriously, these are the cherry tomatoes that I'm still picking. And I could turn this into marinara. I can use this in fresh foods every day into our Mediterranean cooking that we've been doing. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's, even if I can it, this was in-season food used that I can use in the winter. So, and at this point, I'm ready for winter. As of right now, because the heat is so bad, making it canning in this house is making this house very miserable. So I will be not canning at least to the end of August, middle of September. I am done with canning as far as summer vegetables and that. What's coming up next will be chili, beans and things like this. I will do that when it gets cooler because it's too much. A lot of my jars, I've had at least 3 jars not sealed. I am struggling with keeping my pressure where it needs to be. So a lot of things right now are going to stop. I'm just going to be cooking the food that we are growing, and I will be doing videos on that, showing you Mediterranean summer foods, and then we will proceed back to canning for fall and winter come end of August or at least the middle of September. So what comes next? Let's go ahead and work on that raised bed from Vejiga. Okay, my family community, so this is going to conclude. I'm going to have to break this down in 2 parts because this is a very long video. I will be doing a part 2 with the Vejiga company for the raised beds on how to install them, how to put them together, and we will be filling them and showing you. Y'all, I'm about to run. I have some cracking on some trees that is not good. When those fall, some of them are the size of what they call widowmakers. Those are not good. So if I jump, please forgive me. These are some big pecan trees here. So anyways, and it's been very dry, so we got some very bad dry limbs dying off. And we got some strong wind that's coming in and knocking them out. So, but anyways, we are doing part 1, part 2 on these videos. So, and it's the only way, or y'all, you're going to be sitting a little over an hour on these videos. So it is very informative, just like this one, and what these trellises are making a difference to our garden. I am so excited. For the first time, I feel blessed beyond measure, and I can't thank God enough to have the bountiful harvest that I have had for the first time in 5 years. I'm emotional about it, y'all. Very highly emotional, and I am so excited I can't see straight. So I'm hoping that these videos are helping you just as much as it's helping me. The company, yes, I chose to do this company with you. I pray that they do it right, or I will not even do anything with this again. But they seemed, in a sense of it, quite reasonable for the price of having raised beds. Honestly, these are really high quality beds. And for the price, there's a better deal out of that company than I got out of these raised beds here. So I am hoping that everything works out great for this, because I actually like this company. I will do more explaining in part 2. So until then, I've got some cooking. We got cooking videos to do with y'all too. So until next time, much, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.